Hello everybody. If you're currently on the WooCommerce or WordPress platform and you're trying to migrate to BigCommerce platform, you've come to the right place. At Optimum7, we've done thousands of migrations in the past 6 years, and we understand this process really well. But we do it a little differently than our competitors. We don't use an automated software, and we don't import files from WooCommerce into BigCommerce. We validate everything through the API of BigCommerce so that you don't get any bugs, issues, errors with your URLs, 404 pages, once you migrate fully to the BigCommerce platform. Now, this is extremely important because if you're doing hundreds of thousands of dollars, if not millions of revenue on WooCommerce, the last thing you want is your business to go belly up because the migration was not done properly. But you would be surprised at how many times this happens on an annual basis where another agency screws up a migration and that specific client comes to us and we have to fix what that other agency basically destroyed. The database structures of WooCommerce and the template structures of WooCommerce are different than BigCommerce, so you have to validate the information. The character limits are different, the special characters are different. Again, once you migrate everything, your products, your product options, your customers, your orders, the custom pages that you may have, the categories that your products are assigned to, all are going to change. So once you migrate everything, you want to make sure that all of those databases, again, communicate with one another so that when your customer logs into their My Account pages, they can see all of their old orders. The last step of this is the 301 redirect. So you want to make sure that the old URLs redirect to the new URLs because your URL structure is going to change. The platforms are different. And you want to make sure that the pricing infrastructure remains the same for your Google Shopping or any kind of shopping comparison so that your product feeds are not declined and you don't lose revenue overnight. If you want to see at what level we execute a migration project such as this one, watch the rest of this video.
This documentation shows migration from BigCommerce to Shopify, but it's essentially the same documentation that we've created for all the different platforms. The steps might change, the details might change, the API might change, but the process remains the same. So if you look at the BigCommerce to Shopify process here, as you can see, we have database commands, we have migration commands, and we have the entire URL structures and everything. Because different platforms have different URL structures and the different special characters, limitations, there are so many exceptions, right? Not only that, if you look at our GitHub account, on GitHub, we have done these migrations before. So we have full code on how we validate the products, the customers, the orders, how we tie them together, how we process HTML if you have HTML on your product pages on BigCommerce that need to move over to Shopify. Now, BigCommerce and Shopify manage options and variables differently, right? There is actually some sort of limitation on Shopify with your options, where you cannot have unlimited options. So we validate all of this information through our code because we've done this thousands of times. And if you look at this, you'll see all kinds of migration processes here, and every single piece of code basically makes sure that we validate this information through the API. This is not an export-import of a CSV file. You cannot do migration for a website that does millions of dollars annually through an automated software. The software is not going to validate any of this. Now, if you want to look at the documentation, there's a more detailed documentation that we have here. It has all these types of manual links. It has the different exceptions based on, what you can do on BigCommerce, but what you cannot do on Shopify, vice versa. Again, character limitations, the special characters, the errors that you might have. And we do all of this through our process here. As you can see, this is a very, very detailed execution. Why do we do it this way? Because it's very important that you don't lose organic ranks and you don't get 404s because your traffic is going to drop, your sales are going to drop. It's very painful. We have a lot of prospects that used automated software and the migration did not go well and they didn't work with an expert, and they come back and they're like, well, we lost 50% of our traffic. We lost 60% of our sales. So you don't want that to happen to you. The last thing is if you actually, again, go to optimum7.com/migrations page, you will see, let me show you that really quickly. you will see a detailed checklist that you can download here, the 125-step platform migration checklist. And that checklist looks like this. It will help you throughout the process, the platform selection, the planning, the actual migration, the storefront, the backend, the checkout, the data, the integration, and anything that has to do with the marketing, social media tracking as well. I strongly suggest that you download this because it will help you plan your entire migration process. Now, of course, we want everybody to do their due diligence. Whenever you do this kind of migration, look at examples, look at case studies of whomever you're going to work with. I'll show you some from Optimum7. We migrated RC Superstore. It's the site that we worked on. Specialist ID, Good Counsel, Tease to Your Door, Echo and Close. And if you actually look at this, like what happened after the migration process, I think we migrated this site in 2016. I think we migrated this in 2017. You'll see the database growth in terms of organic visibility. So their metrics have actually improved because whenever you do a platform migration, you want to go to a speed and mobile first website, and you have to pay attention to the mobile usability metrics, and you have to make certain improvements to design. And from a conversion standpoint, you have to implement certain functionalities like search and filter. And this is all an effect of that because Google pays attention to how because everybody has analytics, Google pays attention to how your users and your customers interact with your website. Okay, so do your due diligence definitely to go through the process, but this is very, very important. Please make sure you do the 3.0 and redirects properly at the end. That's one of the most important aspects of this. You don't want to lose your ranks. You don't want to lose money. You don't want to lose the authority that you've worked so hard to build. And if you have any questions, please let us know. Thank you.
Welcome back. I hope that this video was helpful for all of you out there who are trying to migrate from WooCommerce to BigCommerce. If you have any specific questions about this process, please comment below or contact us at Optimum7, and we will be happy to guide you in the right direction.